Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director Niddle, for being here. I'm going to add on a little bit to Representative Rothman, who spoke a little bit about the tax burden in Pennsylvania. And he went through a couple specifics. And one of the things that, if you haven't already heard today in another hearing or not, but is specifically looking at our property tax burden. And looking at that to say what we're doing to make sure that Pennsylvania is competitive, both from the business standpoint and also the resident standpoint, to make sure the residents are not overtaxed. So recently, the IFO released a report on February 6, 2020, that is on school district property tax forecast. I don't know how you remember all these reports, but you're pretty good. It shows the 2018-19 tax collections at $15 billion, and 2019-20 moving up slightly to $15.3 billion. And then projections are showing an increase of 3.9%, reaching $18.6 billion in the years 2024, 25. The current property tax burden that we have from information from the IFO is showing we're at 2.87%. We're 24th, right? And the national average is 3.10%. I'm aware that that's obviously a statewide average. My concerns and questions to you are, in the Pocono region and some other parts of the state, you will have up to a 5% plus tax burden, which is significantly high and well over the national average. Do you believe, a couple of quick questions for you, in your professional opinion, do you believe that the projections for increased property tax collections will greatly impact this 5%, these geographic areas that have a much higher burden? And we do have some wiggle room here looking at some of these numbers on the sales tax, and where you said we're spread out nicely to sort of protect ourselves from recessions and things. But do you believe there's some wiggle room there to sort of offset or help maybe the inequities that we're seeing? Although I understand, once again, that the state average says we're below the national average in burden, but I think there's certain areas that really are seeing a significant, mine being one of them. So let's start with that, and then I might add on to you a little bit.
Sure.
Thanks.
So yes, I have no doubt it, and when we've taken a look across school districts or counties, it has varied widely across the state. So that's not surprising to me that you're seeing that. Regarding the property tax forecast, yes, what we're seeing is that the Act 1 index will increase because wage growth has increased. So we do anticipate that school districts will take advantage of the higher index and will increase property taxes a little more than they had in the past. So we are building that in, as you noted, in our forecast. Regarding the other revenue sources, the one that sticks out to me is sales tax. I mean, if you take our ranking, we're 39th. We do have a relatively narrow base. If we did need a major revenue source to provide relief or elimination, that's an obvious candidate, given that the base is relatively narrow.
And with that, which, you know, looking at the paper, I agree with you on some wiggle room there. Do you believe that that would, in your professional opinion, again, impact our competitiveness with other states? I would assume no, based on what we just...
I think I'd characterize it as marginal. I don't think it would hurt it or change it dramatically. I would say, to the extent, economically speaking, anytime we have a broader base and lower rates, it's always good. It's less distortionary, and again, it protects us in recessions.
Right. And just two more further questions. Any further, I mean, I have the list of property tax reports that you have done, from homestead to replacement estimates to older. I know you've done a lot of work. Are there any further IFO reports in play right now that I may not be remembering through our process? Or would you suggest any further research that may be helpful on working on furthering this reform measure with a school tax proposal that maybe we haven't considered in the future, in the past?
Yes, we're not Currently, we don't have any studies related to property tax in the pipeline. We are going to compile some historical data and make that available where we provide a breakdown based on income levels and age groups to see how property taxes, how does it vary across the Commonwealth. So we do have that in the works.
Okay, and my time is up, but Mr. Chairman, one real quick question. So,
Yes.
Geographic information, is that provided in the further reports where I can see the tax burden a little bit more in detail?
I think we could get down to the county level. School district's very difficult, but the county level, I think we could do that.
Okay, thank you so much.